Tourism is an important industry in our region, and recognizing what is good about Winona was first and foremost at Tuesday's 2014 Tourism Award and Partnership Celebration hosted by Visit Winona. Now, during the evening, OHS Bakery was presented the annual Tourism Award for its significant contribution to Winona's tourism industry. Owners Hugh and Mary Polis took over the iconic bakery in 2004. Blado's Little Bake Shop has received several accolades in recent years, including Best Donut Shop in Minnesota, according to WCCO-TV's Best of Minnesota in March of 2012. And it's also been named one of America's 50 best donut shops by Savor magazine.
Owning a business takes a lot more time and energy than I ever thought I could imagine. And being successful isn't about me or Hugh as the owners, it's about the employees and the community we're in.
Colleen Tollefson of Explore Minnesota said tourism is alive and well in Minnesota, bringing in over $12 billion for the state's coffers and almost $100 million annually for Winona County.
Tourism in Minnesota is about a $12.5 billion industry, and to put some arms around that, it is generates 17% of the state's sales tax and 11% of the state's private sector employment. In communities like Winona or counties like Winona County, it's about a $94 million industry and employs about 2,400 people, which is also very significant both locally and to the state.
Tollefson said that as the economy grows stronger, Minnesota's tourism industry is showing increased growth. Some of that growth comes not only through big events like Major League Baseball's All-Star Game, which will be hosted this year by the Minnesota Twins, but through small-town festivals as well.
Tourism in Minnesota is really growing, and all of our indicators are up, particularly things like occupancy, which is very measurable for us, and we get a lot of reports on different segments of the state so that we know where it's up, to what level compared to the previous year. I think anecdotally, we hear a lot of positive comments that business is up from the previous years, almost to the level of what would probably be the harbinger before the drop, which would be 2009. So we're seeing a lot of things in that category. What we're also seeing is just a tremendous growth in different opportunities in Minnesota. Some of them are the really big opportunities like the All-Star Game, and a lot of them are the opportunities that communities create like a film festival or other things like that, but we're seeing a lot of growth in tourism.
Tollefson commented that Winona is probably one of the best in the state at using all of its resources to expand its tourism base.
The resources might be the college and the boat that the college has for classroom, and they adapt it, or I would say multi-purpose it and use it for consumer things. You have a huge, diverse range of activities. Not a lot of communities have a Ragnar relay and huge cultural activities like the Shakespeare Festival, the Beethoven Festival, those types of things. You also are really good seasonally. It's not a summer season or a fall season. It's a year-round tourism destination. And I think the other thing you really do is recognize new ideas and develop them.
Winona's tourism industry has come a long way over the years. Mayor Mark Peterson talked about the humble beginnings of what is now Visit Winona in the early 1980s.
When I first came to Winona back in 1983, meeting in the back of what is now Charlie's on 2nd Street was the Chamber of Commerce building, and Joe Fleischman and Ann Sternal and some others from the Chamber were all in, and Dave Height were all involved in starting the Convention and Visitors Bureau back then. And today, to see 30 years later, the good work that they've done and the growth that they've had and the phenomenal efforts that they're making to promote tourism here in Winona. We know Winona is as the best place in Minnesota to live. I like to call it the Key West of the Midwest because it's so much nicer here than anywhere else in the state. We here in this room don't really know all the good work because we don't see it here in the community, but trust me, it's out there, the word about Winona, and it's really, I think, a lot to do. I think I saw a transformation to some degree when Great River Shakespeare Festival came to Winona. I think it's just one of those transformative moments for our community when Shakespeare came here, and then shortly after that we had the Minnesota Beethoven Festival, and then since then the Frozen River Film Festival, Midwest Music Festival, Boats and Bluegrass, and the Minnesota Marine Art Museum, our expansion here at the History Center, and just lots of good things going on in this community. And I think we should all be just really proud of where we're at with tourism.
Some of the upcoming highlights that will bring visitors into Winona for summer 2014 include the Minnesota Beethoven Festival, the Great River Shakespeare Festival, Boats and Bluegrass, Chocolate Shakespeare and Champagne, the Tour of Gardens, the Farmers Market, Trinona, Ragnar Relay, and of course, Steamboat Days.